Okay, good evening again. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for taking time out on a chilly, very short Monday to come see us here at DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. My name's Rob, I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and I'm going to be spending the next 50 to 60 minutes going through who DuePoint is, what we do, and you're welcome to ask me any questions after the presentation. So let's begin. DuePoint, we're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's their building in the background. They're based down the road from us in Randburg. They were founded in 1952, so they've been around for a lot longer than I've been on planet Earth. A very long-standing, reputable business. They're actually on the Joburg Stock Exchange, listed under a company called Conduit Capital. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there, and you'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all our FSP licensing on display. We've got a short and long-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, our FSP license, and we also have our accreditation with the direct selling and the direct marketing associations. So at this point of the presentation, it's very important that you start building trust with the business that we're going to be speaking about. That's obviously a fundamental step when you discuss any partnership. And so we take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint. So you are welcome to go do a background check on us, Google us, check out who we are. The individuals involved here at DuePoint, this is the executive and the senior managers here at DuePoint. The three individuals on the far left are all registered chartered accountants in South Africa. Brendan Benfield is our senior executive. He heads up DuePoint. We're very lucky to have him leading the team because he's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. His whole family have been entrenched in insurance for about his entire life, but their father has been in insurance for about 50 plus years. He was a professor of insurance. He taught at Wits for 25 years. His father started Clientele Life. Stuart and his brother Brendan followed in their father's footsteps, and they founded a business called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which is a very successful short-term insurer based just down the road from us. Then we've got Tim Reynolds, who's got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was working for the first Rand Group, and he had quite a senior, cushy corporate position there. He reported directly to the board of executives. He heads up our financial auditing, accounting aspects here at DuePoint, as well as our regulatory aspects. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was with Deloitte for a number of years locally as well as overseas. Before she came back to South Africa and joined the team here. And then the two non-accountants, Jane and myself. So Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. She actually comes from, or very close to York in the UK. So if you ever get to speak to her, she's always in reception, so you'll probably get to meet her. You'll notice she's got a Yorkshire accent. And even though we're an insurance business, our growth is very much determined by our marketing, and our marketing is network marketing or referral marketing, whatever you want to call it. So her skill is fundamental to our business. And then myself, I come from a marketing and advertising industry and background. I started a digital agency. I guess I was fairly young in those days, the mid-90s. And I ran that business for about 20 years, fairly successfully. It paid the bills, and I'll touch on why I left that business a little later in the presentation. So these are the individuals. When I say we propose a partnership with a business, as much as there's a very credible business behind this, these are the individuals that you're going to be dealing with. And so you can go check our profiles on our website to get a bit of a background check on us. Again, it's very much a fundamental step in trusting the people that you're going to be doing business with. And so I hope we lend to that credibility. All right, so our guests, why are you here this evening? Who's here for the first time? Just give me a show of hands so I know who the guests are. Okay, welcome. We're always happy to see more guests than wealth engineers. It means the wealth engineers are doing their job. So what is the premise of being here? I would expect that the person that invited you here alluded to some form of financial opportunity. They might have been fairly blunt and said, do you want to make more money? To which you responded in the positive, I think. Maybe they said there was free tea and coffee and that got you across the line. Nonetheless, you're here this evening on a Monday night, and aren't there better things to do than be here on a Monday evening? There certainly are. But I like to kind of understand the driving behavior, why people would be here on a Monday night. Obviously, you are interested in some form of entrepreneurial opportunity that we're going to be discussing. That's obvious. But we discuss a couple of driving factors. And those driving factors are generally all negative. all right? Because it would be great if life was all rosy and we didn't have to look at other financial opportunities. But it isn't. And one of the driving factors is the economy. And I love to ask the question if anyone's happy with the economy at the moment. Not so good, right? Affecting all walks of life, all industries. It doesn't matter whether you work in the mailroom or you're the CEO, it is affecting everybody. Throughout last year, I had the pleasure of telling everybody that our economy was at least growing by 0.3% annually. But in the last 6 months, it's become worse. We're actually in negative territory. So we're in a technical recession at the moment. Our economy is shrinking. This is particularly bad in an economy or a society where we so desperately need to be creating jobs. But we're actually doing the opposite. We've got just over 9 million people unemployed. That's more than 50% of our workforce. We've got about 800,000 kids coming out of school every year into an environment where there just aren't jobs available for them. And these aspects of the economy play out directly in our lives. One, like I said, unemployment, retrenchment that's happening, interest rates that are going up. Companies are certainly not thriving in an economy like this. They're really in survival mode, and that's why you probably have to go beg for an 8% or a 7% increase every year just for your salary to stay in line with inflation at the moment. The other aspect that we talk about is the 4-letter word that you see up on the screen there. And we're all very familiar with this 4-letter word because we love it so much. I know we love it because I know how many South Africans have it, and they keep getting more of it. It's this thing called debt, right? And debt is certainly something we have control over because no one forced debt down our throats. Unfortunately, the economy is something that we don't have control over. So I often ask myself, why do we live in this culture in South Africa where we are so debt-ridden, so debt-burdened? Do you know that we get a lot of statistics from the FSB on an annual basis, and it paints this picture of what personal finance looks like for the average South African. And it shows us that the average South African only starts engaging in investment and savings products when they're near the age of 50. Near the age of 50, which is just far too late. And I wondered to myself, well, why do South Africans only get engaged in that so late? And I think there's a number of factors that drive that. I think people kind of accept that debt is this thing that's just normal in life, and that is purely acceptable to engage in debt. And there are a number of debt instruments that we get offered. Unfortunately, we get offered debt at a very early age. The moment you start earning a salary, you typically start getting offered things on credit, right? So there's normal things like credit cards that a lot of us engage in, home loans, car loans, educational loans, personal loans, clothing accounts, food accounts. You know, you could be still paying off food that you bought last year on some of the accounts that you get. So there's a plethora of different debt instruments. But at the same time, these same financial institutions, financial services business, also offer us investments and savings, but we just don't engage in them. We don't engage in them. And we find that South Africans are in this debt cycle that they are unable to get out of. When you're in your 20s, I guess you don't really think much about the accountability or what debt is doing to you in the long term, because you're kind of happy-go-lucky when you're in your 20s still. You're earning a salary, hopefully by then. You've got almost no accountability, but when you start getting older, you start putting on the accountability, like the little financial burdens that start running around your house. And you decide to buy a car, and you decide to buy a house, and that house has typically got a 20-year term on its bond, and you can only look forward to paying that bond off when you're in your 50s, because it takes you typically 20 years to pay that bond off. And so I think why South Africans only start engaging in investments and savings products for the first time in their 50s is because you actually don't have opportunity to do it sooner. Because in an economy like this, when you're in this debt cycle, when you've got interest rates going up, food inflation sitting at 11%, your boss might not be giving you that 8% increase in line with inflation every year. You're actually getting squeezed more and more and more. And we see it in the statistics that we get. Because recently we were told that 50% of the South Africans that have debt in this country are already under debt review. Think about that. That's pretty much half the working population is under debt review. They have not been able to meet their debt commitments for more than 3 months running. That's 50% of us. And so I think that most South Africans are in this debt cycle that they cannot escape. And only once you've paid your house off, when you realize that you need to stop engaging in these debt instruments that you can't afford, and when the little financial burdens are old enough to go support themselves, is probably around the age of 50. You've paid your house off for the first time when you're around 50, and for the first time in a panic, realizing that retirement is about 10 years away, we see South Africans suddenly saving, suddenly investing. But it's too late. It's too late. Here's some data that was published on the Fin24.com website late last year. And this data kind of shows you what responsible retirement planning looks like. Okay? The article was actually predicated on the fact of the rising mortality rate in South Africa. So retirement planning is very much determined by how long the retirement planner thinks you're going to live for. Okay? Because today, the current mortality rate for women is 74 years of age. So on average, women are dying at about 74. But everyone in this room, I see that doesn't look like anyone's on their deathbed here. We are probably going to live to our 80s, right? Kids being born today are more likely to reach 100. Do you know how many people in South Africa are already living beyond the age of 100? I think they call them centenarians. Do you know how many centenarians there are in South Africa? Over 4,000. Mind-blowing, right? Okay. So this data was predicated on the fact that we are going to be living longer. Therefore, retirement planning has to adjust accordingly. Your retirement planning now has to kind of hold out for the next 30 years. Okay, so we've got 3 columns over here. The 3 columns are headed by a value that shows you how much income you can derive from an investment that you've contributed to throughout your lifetime. Anyone want to earn 5,000 Rand a month once they're retired? It's not going to pay for much, right? But let's look at the example. 5,000 Rand a month, you need to have saved 1 million Rand by the time you get to retirement. And that 1 million Rand will pay you out 5,000 Rand in interest. At the same time, it'll actually eat into the capital, and it'll run out. The 1 million Rand will run out over 30 years. So if you retire at 60, this money is going to run out when you're 90. You can't afford to live to 91. A bit of a gamble. Let's look at a more dignified income. 26,000 Rand a month, you need to have saved 5 million Rand. You have to have 5 million Rand sitting in an investment that's going to pay you out the 26,000 Rand. It'll run out over the space of 30 years. If you're around the age of 20 to 25, you can start engaging in this more easily than the rest of us can, because you have time on your side. So if you want to reach this point, you need to put away 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years, uninterrupted. And that 4,000 Rand a month has to increase in line with inflation every year. So that contribution needs to increase by 7%, 8%. Do you want to guess how many South Africans do this? How many South Africans do you think get to retirement financially independent? 2%. So we've got about 25 people in the room. That's one leg. One leg will retire financially independent on average. Your leg can go on holiday. You'll have to stay behind. Right? Dismal statistics. Dismal statistics. And I promise you now, debt is a major contributing factor to this. And I see it. I see it in my own life. I see it in the people I know's lives. We're in this debt cycle. We are just trying to get by every single month. And we're in this cycle that happens annually too. Everyone's suffering in January, after December, after we've had to buy Christmas presents and go traveling and visit family and do holidays or whatever. And then you've got to suddenly pay for your school uniforms and stationery and all those costs associated with January. And people suffer through January. We even see it in our business. We have a massive dip in debit orders that we're able to debit through January. Because people just don't have money in their accounts. Out of all of this negativity, the DuePoint system was born. As a business, as an enterprise, we saw an opportunity to create a system or a platform that the average South African could engage in to break out of this cycle. We have 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. Number 1, we want to see our wealth engineers actually become debt-free as quickly as possible. So that's number 1. Pay your debt off as quickly as possible. The second aspiration is to see wealth engineers start engaging in a true form of investment. A true form of investment. We make the mistake thinking that a home loan is this great investment that we're making because we're contributing 20 years of payments towards this thing that takes half our lives to get paid off. It isn't. Once you paid the house off, you're still living in it. How does it become an investment? You've either got to sell it or rent your rooms out. Don't be fooled. The third aspiration is to see our wealth engineers smile more, even on a Monday night. Because that's really why we're all here, isn't it? You want to change your life. You have hope, you have aspiration that this presentation will give you the answer in changing the situation you find yourself in. And that is the third aspiration. Because I promise you, if you're able to get yourself to the status of being completely debt-free and you're only contributing into true investments or assets, you'll be smiling at the end of every month. At the end of every year, come January, you'll be smiling. You will be the one that gets to pay their kids' education a year up front. When the salary arrives in your account, it doesn't disappear with the 20 debit orders that happen in a flurry at the beginning of the month. You decide how to spend your money every month, and that'll be extremely liberating and stress-free. So how does this work? Our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity of joining DuePoint. What actually happens is you contract with us, and when you contract with us, we expect you to do one thing. We call you wealth engineers in that contract, and the primary task for our wealth engineers is for you to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And into these channels of distribution, or through these channels of distribution, the people that you introduce to us via our online platform, we'll attempt to place product with those individuals. And that's basically all you're going to be doing. It's as simple as that. The benefit for the wealth engineer, obviously, is that you get to create additional income stream for yourself. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off any faster than what you're currently doing. This is the only way to create an option for you beyond what you find in this debt cycle that you're all in. The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income. Now, this is an awesome benefit. And this is the primary reason why I left my business. Because in my business, we were very much service-based, right? So I ran a digital agency, and we serviced mostly the financial sector. But after 17, actually sooner, not after 17 years, probably after about 10 years, I realized the mistake in not being able to create recurring income. I realized that I was going to have to do this job until I died. Because you might think, oh, well, he owned his own business. He must automatically be making lots of money and be successful. No, it doesn't work like that. I ran my own business. We had about 10 staff. They all got salaries. But at the end of every month, I'd have to start at zero in terms of the income we were generating. Every single month for 17 years, I started at zero at the end of every month. At the beginning of every month, I'd have to go find the work, do the work, invoice the work. And at the end of that month, again, start at zero. My father told me when I was very young, he said, find a business that pays you while you're sleeping. I had no idea what he was speaking about. 10 years into running my own business, I suddenly realized the light turned on. And it still took me 7 years to get out of that business, to exit it. And I joined the team here at DuePoint. This business allows you to create recurring income. What does that mean? It means that at the end of every month, you don't start at zero. The effort that you put into this business in June doesn't only pay you at the end of June. It potentially pays you at the end of July, at the end of August, at the end of September. The effort you put into this business this month could potentially even pay you in 10 years' time, 20 years' time for the effort that you put into this business this month. This is recurring income. It is one of the benefits of insurance businesses. Very few companies are able to create recurring income. You get to harness the power of duplication. This is leverage. This is leverage. Why does the CEO get the biggest salary or the biggest bonus? He's leveraging all the staff that works for him. You get to do a similar thing in this business. We know that you have limited time, and so we've built the system that allows you to harness the power of duplication, which means that these channels of distribution that you're building are actually you going out and building teams that you get to collaborate with. So that if you only have an hour to invest in this business a day, when you've got 10 people working with you, each contributing an hour into your business every day, now suddenly you have 11 hours being invested into this asset that you're building that will pay you out a greater recurring income. This business is flexi time. Now, initially when I gave this presentation, I used to think flexi time was a great benefit because it gave people the freedom to choose when they wanted to do this business. And that is a benefit. But the other side of the sword is that if you want to be successful in this business, you can't treat this like a hobby. It can't be a New Year's resolution where you decide, I feel like doing this. I've got some spare time this week to do that business. I promise you won't be successful. By the end of this presentation, there's going to be a big orange slide that comes up that says decision time. The decision is, for the people that are interested in this business opportunity, how are you going to schedule DuePoint into your life? You need to schedule it in routinely. It needs to form part of your life if you want to be successful in this business. I'm sorry, there's no other answer to the equation. That's what you have to accept. I'm telling you up front. No one looks like they want to leave, so it seems like everyone's ready to make that decision near the end of the presentation. Good. There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees in this business. There's no boxes of product that you have to buy to get going. It's a very low-risk opportunity. There's no qualifications or experience required. Why is that a benefit? Because this is financial services. We have huge obligation to the FSB because of the phase regulation that governs financial businesses. You don't have to worry about any of that obligation. We actually contract you out of that obligation. So you can enjoy the benefits of financial services like recurring income without worrying about the experience and the qualifications needed. We worry about that. Build an asset. This is another very important benefit, because if I'm going to propose to you that you need to actually sacrifice time to fit this business into your schedule, at least know that the time that you're investing in this business, you've got ownership over this asset that you're building. This flies in the face of employment, because we'll spend our lives working for somebody else. 40, 45 years working for someone else, right? We've got to participate in the downside of their businesses, and we never get to participate in the upside of their businesses. We don't have shares. We don't get dividends every quarter. We don't have any say in the business. This business, you have legal tender over these channels of distribution that you're building. What does that mean? It means you can sell it. You can give it to your kids when you get too old to do the business. If something happens to you before that, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. You have options with the asset that you're building. There's no selling involved. I don't see any smiles. Let me say it again. There's no selling involved. How many of you, when you heard about this business or were invited here, thought or said to the person that invited you, what's the product? What are we selling at this business? What are we selling? Vitamins, milkshakes? What's the deal? Again, we actually contract you out of selling. You won't be selling in this business, right? You'll be going out building channels of distribution purely based on the opportunity of getting involved in a business. And that's what you're going to be speaking about. The nature of our business, because it's financial, like I said, there's no boxes of product, right? Nothing you have to buy. It's not going to take up space in your boot or your garage. There's no expiry date on it. Products don't smell funny after 3 months. They're fresh every single day. So we make this business as convenient and as easy as possible to get involved with. And this is all determined by you going out and building these channels of distribution. So what does a channel of distribution look like? Well, it begins with you. You're not going to be selling. You're going to be going out and just telling people about the business opportunity at DuePoint. The business opportunity. It is the most valuable commodity in South Africa at the moment. The most valuable income opportunity. That's what you're going to be speaking to people about. If you're successful in that, and you're able to get people to come sit through a presentation like this or watch it on the live stream, and we're able to place a product with those individuals, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And those 5 people that were interested in the business opportunity for themselves are going to go out and do exactly the same thing you did. And they'll invite people, except that guy. He loves generations too much during the week, doesn't want to put in extra time. But do you see the organic nature of the growth that can take place in this business? How much effort did it take to introduce 5 people into the business? Do you see the leverage that happens here, the power of duplication? Because you don't know anyone beyond that point. And next month, there'll be a few more dots on the screen. And your recurring income will have increased. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. You'll be forgiven if you arrived at this presentation thinking, oh, I've been invited to one of those things. Have you heard about those things? Some people refer to them as schemes. I was new to this business. I'd never been involved in a business like this until I joined the team at DuePoint, and I got exposed to all these other schemes out there. The sob stories that I hear in reception about, I put money in this account and the guy promised me that I'll have 50% more next week. I say, which guy promised you that? No, this Russian guy on YouTube. All right? It shows us how desperate we are as a society for opportunity, if you're willing to go to those lengths. So my disclaimer slide is to tell you that there is no such thing as quick success. It doesn't exist in any sphere of life. We will never promise you at DuePoint that success comes easily here. You have to work hard for it. You've got to endure the frustration. We're very much a people business. We deal with people constantly. People are frustrating if you haven't noticed. I can hardly get on with my direct family. Now I must get on with all these people that I want to bring into my business. If you can get through that frustration, if you can get rid of short-term expectation, if you have the persistence and the consistency to do this business, I promise you there's success. But look in the long term to what this business can do for you. Not in the first 3, 6, 12 months. Look beyond that. What can this business do for you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road? Okay. So how do we pay our wealth engineers? We pay them this thing called returns at the end of every month, and the returns are based on how much product you have in your channel of distribution. So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product you have in your channel. Okay? Remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to the business? Those people lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. These individuals you know personally. They're on your point 1. On point 1, we actually pay you double the R27.50. So we pay you R55 for every product every single month. Remember, it's recurring income. So if you found 5 people in June, you're going to get paid at the end of June and at the end of July and at the end of August. That is recurring income. Okay, as long as those products are active. On point 2, again, we pay you R55 for every product every month. To point 3, the multiplier drops to 100% again, and the further the product gets away from you, the more the multiplier drops, all the way to point 8. At point 8, you're getting paid 4% of the R27.50, but we don't limit you to point 8. You can grow this business beyond point 8. We will pay you 4% from point 8, in theory, to infinity. We don't limit you on the size of your channel in this business. We don't limit you on how much you can earn at DuePoint. The accountability lies with you. So this is the mechanics of the returns. I think that's fairly straightforward to understand. The next natural question is, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time? After 3 months or 6 months, or you talk long term, after 5 years, what can I expect if I take this leap of faith and get involved in this business? So what we did is we built this thing called the path to success. If you can go out and put 3 people into this business in your first month, and then 2 people into the business every consecutive month, you can expect these numbers. We call this growth formula 3 plus 2, right? 3 in your first month, 2 every other month. 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 into perpetuity. If you can do that after 6 months, you should be earning around R2,500 a month. No reaction. Is that good money or is that not so good money? It's okay. I bet if I had R2,500 in my pocket, you'd want it right now. But to work 6 months for it, is that too much work to get to R2,500 a month? Let me give you some context. You will see that we have a common thread throughout this business to see our wealth engineers become debt-free. So here we have an example of someone that's got a R1 million bond. Okay? They went to the bank, asked for a bond because they found a nice house. The bank said, I'll give you the money, you're going to pay me back over a 20-year term. 20 years, you're going to pay that money back. At the current interest rate, you're probably going to be paying about 11,500 rand a month for the next 20 years. So if you're in your 30s, you're going to pay the house off. You're going to become a homeowner when you're in your 50s, right? We all appreciate how the bond works. You join DuePoint after 6 months of some success, you've reached 2,500 Rand a month of recurring income, and you put that money into your bond as an additional payment. The effect of that is that you're going to reduce the bond term. So in other words, you're not going to take 20 years to pay the house off. You'll pay it off in less than 12 years. In 11 and a half years, you pay that house off. You don't wait until you're 50-something to pay the house off. You do it in less time. You're now a homeowner when you're in your 40s. Do you know how much money that 2,500 Rand saves you in repayments? A guess, anyone? 2,500 Rand is going to save you 1 million Rand in the long term. 100% of your property asset. Does that not boggle your mind? I didn't believe the accountants when they came up with this example. I thought they'd got it wrong. I did my own research. I went into Google, compound interest calculator, put all the figures in. That little 2,500 Rand will save you 1 million Rand. After 12 months, you could be earning 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand of annual recurring income that you've created for yourself. After 24 months, you're up to almost 30,000 Rand a month. After 36 months, 50,000 Rand a month. Have you noticed how your income goes up every month? More than 8% annually. Right? Again, the accountability lies with you. You want to look at a bond example? He has a 5 million Rand bond at month 30. Probably earning about 36,000 Rand a month. If you place that as an additional payment into your bond, you'll pay the 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. Be a nice position to be in, don't you think? I'm 40, just turned 40. I've got 21 years till I'm 61. I can do this example 3 times over. I can pay my first house off when I'm 47, pay my second house off when I'm 54, pay my third house off when I'm 61. Or do I just buy a Porsche and drive around in the Porsche and only pay my first house off when I'm 61? Guys, we need to think about money differently. We need to think about debt differently. You're either on the right side of compound interest or you're on the wrong side of compound interest. We want you to move across that line as quickly as possible. After 48 months, you're close to about 70,000 Rand monthly. And after 60 months, a short 5 years, you've created for yourself about 1 million Rand in recurring income. Does anyone even believe this example? Do you believe it? Can you picture yourself in 60 months to be earning 100,000 Rand a month? Or do you just not believe it at all? The example is just too big. We must go back to the 2,500 Rand a month. Please. You're scaring me. Guys, this is purely academic. This is theory. This is an example that the accountants came up with, based on this example called 3 plus 2. Just going to be bringing in 2 people new every single month. But you have to do that consistently. Does it sound too onerous? Because you can do less than that. We've got many, many, many wealth engineers that join this business and are still part of the 0 plus 0 club. But you can also do more than 3 plus 2. We've got many wealth engineers doing more than 3 plus 2. So here's Denzel. Every month, we've got some of our wealth engineers that come up onto stage and they'll share their stories with us. Their testimonies are all available on YouTube. You're welcome to go watch them. So Denzel, you can see he joined at the end of August, and about 6 months later, he had generated for himself nearly 2,500 Rand. So he was tracking 3 plus 2 quite well, right? But look what he did in a single month. Sorry, I keep forgetting to change that. That should be 2017. 2017. Look what he did in the space of 30 days. If you go listen to his testimony, he'll admit to when he joined this business, he didn't really understand the gravity of this business, the potential of this business. It took him 6 months to realize that. And when he did realize it, he suddenly put in 10 times more effort and more time into this business. He gave himself a 100% increase in the space of 30 days. And in employment, we beg for an 8% increase annually. And May to June, he did it again. How can we be happy with 8% annually? This business is the opportunity to take your income into your own hands. I always talk about accountability. You have to do it. Brendan and myself and all the staff here, no one will phone you if you're part of the 0+0 club. We won't. I can't force you to spend time in this business. Must I beg? You have to decide for yourself that you're sacrificing your Saturdays, your Monday nights, your Tuesday nights, your Wednesday nights for this business called DuePoint. And there certainly is a step of faith that you have to take. Because you've probably never heard of this business before tonight, right? Our guests. There's no billboards outside that say DuePoint. But fortunately, we're a very credible business. We've been around for 70 years. And you've seen the individuals involved here. These wealth engineers were doing exactly the same thing as you. They hadn't heard of DuePoint. They were sitting in this presentation room just like you, and I sat in this presentation room for the first time too, once upon a time. I had to catch the vision of what Brendan intended for this business. Nonkobela from the East London and the Eastern Cape. You can see when she joined, March last year. That date is correct. She didn't do anything for a full year. For 12 months, she did nothing. She joined the business. You go listen to her testimony. She admits to being involved in these other schemes. Those were her words. I don't know which schemes, but they were taking up all her time. Fortunately for her, she saw one of our wealth engineers that was doing really well on Facebook, of all places. And she contacted that lady and said, what is DuePoint all about? Help me. And suddenly at the beginning of this year, she started working. She was earning nothing at the beginning of the year. Look where her income's sitting now. 6 months. So, one of our hardest working wealth engineers. Tiny little lady, only this tall. Runs her own business, is soft-spoken. If you had to see her, you'd never imagine how tenacious she is from a business point of view. But she's got massive aspirations for herself. She wants to start a bus company. Can you believe it? She runs a nursery school and she wants a bus company. She wants DuePoint to subsidize her bus company when she begins it. We all have different aspirations. If you're happy with 2,500 Rand a month, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be one of the people that want to earn 100,000 Rand a month, you better have the plan to get to the 100,000 Rand and the plan to get to 2,500 Rand. It's not going to happen on its own. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month that have created an income stream for themselves over and above what they're getting paid at work. Again, the accountability lies with you. So this is the returns. This is what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month based on how many products they have in their channels. Over and above that, we have this thing called the XP Rewards program. Right? So now this is something extra. The XP Rewards program rewards you for the success and the personal activity that you invest in this business. So if you become a wealth engineer today, you will start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, like coming to presentations, introducing people to the business, logging into the website. And when you do these host of behaviors, we will give you something called XP. Right? The XP just means experience points. It's just an indicator of how active you are. And when you start to collect more and more XP, and your business starts to grow in terms of the number of products that you have in your channel, you will start to enjoy the rewards in the XP Rewards program. So if you join us this evening, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer, right? But very quickly you can get to rank 1 because you only need 1,000 XP and 4 products in your qualified channel. And when you do that, we'll be paying you a return at the end of the month, but through the XP Rewards program, we'll give you an extra 55 Rand. And as you start to collect more XP and you build your channel bigger and bigger, you get to enjoy bigger rewards. So you can see they get bigger and better. 100 Rand, 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give away tools that help you be more effective in building your channels of distribution. So here's Patrick and Pumi at rank 5. We gave them a lightning USB memory stick. It's an awesome little device because it plugs into anything. Smartphones, tablets, computers, laptops, TVs. Doesn't matter whether it's Apple or Android. It plugs into everything, right? So Patrick and Pumi can show people the business regardless of what device they have around them. At rank 7, we get these business cards manufactured. That's actually our cost if we have 2 sets manufactured at the same time. If you get a single set manufactured, it costs you just over 20,000 Rand for 1,000 business cards. Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Because people haven't heard of DuePoint outside of this building. So when you go to someone and propose this business opportunity called DuePoint, you don't have much credibility. But I promise you, if you put a business card in their hands that's about 50 times more valuable than the one they have in their pockets, your credibility will suddenly jump a couple of levels. They'll suddenly give you a little more time to explain about this business that you're proposing to them. At rank 9, this is the one everyone gets excited about. I can even hear it. Why does everyone get excited about it? Because this is not a once-off reward. This is a recurring reward. When you reach rank 9, you will enjoy this international conference with DuePoint every single year going forward with your family. Business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid every single year. Think about that. So we made a video of the actual resort that we're going to. So take a look.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
How does that look? Not too bad? Up to everyone's standard? I tease everyone. I say normally what we do is we have a family meeting near the end of the year to see how much money is in the bank account, to decide whether you can afford to go to the Val Dam or to Umhlanga Rocks. But everyone in the room has got equal opportunity to get to rank 9. Can you get excited about rank 1 first? 55 Rand. Can you get excited about the 55 Rand? Because if you can get to rank 1, nothing changes. The behavior, the activity is the same. You'll get to rank 9. There's no time limit on getting to rank 9. In the last 6 months, we've had 3 families already qualify for the rank 9 trip. It is up to you. These individuals are not special. Maybe in our hearts they're special. But from a qualification point of view, they aren't. We've got wealth engineers that have got matrics, some who don't. Some who are in corporate, some who aren't. Some who have got degrees, some who don't. Equal opportunity in this room. At rank 11, guess what happens at rank 11? That's the rank 11 car we gave away a few weeks ago. You can see in our parking lot. You can go look at the video on YouTube. It's there. We're very serious about getting our wealth engineers to the status of debt-free. When you get given a car with no debit order at the end of the month, are you closer to becoming debt-free? When you go on an international conference with your kids every single year, business class flights, are you closer to becoming debt-free? This is just the XP Rewards program. This goes up to rank 11 that we're looking at now. Do you remember what rank it went to on the table? Rank 20. Behind that other door, we've already planned to rank 28. This is just the beginning, guys. It's the beginning. It requires that step of faith today to get there. There's no other way to get there. You've got to start at rank 1. Get yourself out of the rank 0 plus 0 club as quickly as possible. Another benefit we have for our wealth engineers is something called the Wealth Quest. This is something that we do every month. It's different every month. It's a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers. And this month is called You're in the Army Now. And it challenges you to ranking up in our XP Rewards program. If you can rank up in the XP Rewards program, you'll be rewarded 60 gigs of data. That's 10 gigs for the next 6 months. This is very much a data-driven business. You'll notice we don't have brochures or printed out anything in this business. You require data to be involved in this business. And so there it is, 60 gigs of it for the next 6 months. We've got another incentive that we're running called the Winter Solstice XP Challenge to try and motivate you to get out of bed in the cold weather that we're experiencing at the moment. And here we have 1,000 XP on offer every day if you're able to bring someone new into your channel. So that's, I think, 10,000 XP that's available between the 21st of June till the end of the month. Want to get to rank 1? You can do it in a single day, easily. Okay? All right, this is a slide that basically explains our business model. Some people think we're spending far too much money on our wealth engineers with these trips and cars and returns. That shows you a traditional business model. Most insurance companies spend a large amount of money on client acquisition. They have to do this through marketing and advertising. So there you see all the typical marketing channels that they engage in. Whoops, DuePoint doesn't do any advertising at all. You won't see our DuePoint logo outside of this building. We don't spend a cent on marketing. We rely on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about the business opportunity. So we don't spend the billions that the insurance companies typically spend on client acquisition. That portion of our premium gets attributed towards returns and rewards for our wealth engineers. Okay, so I hope that explains the business model. These are our products. We have 3 products. They all have very different benefits. You're free to take one product or all 3 products. That is your choice to make. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. Okay? 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund that is housed by Sanlam. It's managed by fund managers. You have full access to it. It's not a notice or a fixed deposit. You can draw the funds out within 72 hours. With this investment, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rand worth of personal accident cover. Okay, so this is product number 1. The investment product. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. This is purely an insurance product. It is $274 per month. but this time you get 1.1 million rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay? This is personal accident cover. We don't profile you from a health risk point of view. Right? This is not a life cover. This pays you out in the event of you dying through an accident. The beauty of these products is that because we're not profiling from a health point of view, anyone over the age of 18 can look at this product, because you can be 70 years old, be diabetic, and you can still take out this product. The premium remains the same. The amount of cover remains the same. Okay, product number 2. This is the insurance product. Product number 3 is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club Program. This product aims to save us money on the money we're spending every month anyway. So for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with the list of partners that you see on the screen there. Okay, 274 per month. ShopRite Checkers is a very popular partner because we are spending a fortune on groceries every month. Like I said, groceries are increasing by 11% annually at the moment. That means groceries doubling in price every 8 years at the moment. Someone said to me, the price of Oros went from 27 Rand to 40 Rand in the last 48 months or something, right? The Oros index. The Entertainer is a wonderful partner. We've got over 1 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers that gives you access to restaurants around the country, hotels around the world, spas. Eagle Ford, also a great partner. The discount that you can receive at Eagle Ford far outweigh the premium that you're paying with this product. So if you're looking for immediate benefit, this is a great product to have. Okay, I remind you of the support that you get at DuePoint. Do not become a wealth engineer and disappear into the ether. Lean into the support that we offer here. Our mandate, the staff's mandate here, is to support our wealth engineers. We have your interests at heart. We can only be successful as a business if you're being successful. And so everything that we do here is geared to make you effective in this business. The live stream that happens, every single event, is so that you can go out and build this business in other parts of the country. The facilities are for our wealth engineers. You can do your own presentations here. You can have meetings in our boardroom. We've got free Wi-Fi for you. There's tea and coffee, always available. iPads in the breakout rooms. It is for you. So get stuck in. Lean into that support. Here's the big orange decision slide. What was the decision we're going to make? For those of you that are interested in this business opportunity, please do not make the mistake of becoming a wealth engineer and not having realized the time that it's going to take to be successful in this business. There's no way around it. I want you to understand in your mind already that you need to schedule this in as a routine in this business. Make sure your goal is big enough and long-term enough that this business motivates you every time you get out of bed in the morning. Do not let it be like a New Year's resolution. The 0+0 club is big enough as it is. Do not be part of that club. Lean into the sport. Brendan and myself, we will give you our time. We will schedule time with your teams to strategize your success in this business. Get stuck in, get excited about rank 1, and get qualified as quickly as possible in this business. We make joining very easy. We've got free Wi-Fi. As I said, if you've got your own smartphone or tablet on you can jump onto our homepage, www.duepoint.net, click on the big blue apply button. It'll take you 7 minutes to go through the application form and become a wealth engineer. You can start phoning those first 5 people tonight already. You can be qualified by tomorrow night. Fast and simple. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools to help you be more effective. Please consider getting business cards. This business is very much about first impressions. You've got to speak professionally, behave professionally, dress professionally, have business cards when you're proposing a business to somebody else. The USB stick's very convenient because we've got our videos on there. You don't have to use data. Nowadays you can plug these USB sticks into TVs. Our videos are on there. Give the USB stick to somebody. They can watch the video from home or from your laptop or computer. And then we've got a host of other merchandise. The pricing's on the reception table. All the merchandise is on display in the cabinet. We do training. So this is a new training seminar that we did on Saturday. It spells out the first 30 days as a wealth engineer for you. So if you become a wealth engineer, do not ask the question, what do I do next? Go look Goodness me. Bill Gates. Go look at this dev seminar. It's called Your First 30 Days. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. It'll tell you exactly what to do, what to expect for the next 30 days. Path to success. We have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we load a new video on. It'll tell you every time we have a live event. If you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app. It allows you to see what's going on in your business in real time. You can manage the business from your hand, from your mobile phone. Guys, we are done. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. I hope to see more of you. Good luck.